Hello everyone and welcome back. We just wanted to do a quick short video because I just don't have much time these days, as you can see by my hair and my face and everything. Real life, newborn life has set in. Newborn life with a toddler and 3 other kids is definitely a lot harder. But anyway, we wanted to introduce you guys to Wilder. This is Wilder. Wilder decided to come on December 2nd. He was exactly at 36 weeks gestational age, so he was exactly 4 weeks early. He was a complete surprise. I woke up at 3 in the morning on Sunday, December 2nd, and it was really gross, but I could not stop vomiting, and it happened until 8 in the morning, and I finally woke Gary up, and I was like, we've got to go to the hospital. I'm so dizzy. I can't even stand up. I'm so sick. And I went to the hospital, not for labor, but because I was just incredibly sick and it was awful. And I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. So I went and they hooked me up to the monitor, and my contractions were every 2 to 4 minutes. So I was definitely in labor and had no idea. But I don't think that I could even feel the contractions because of how sick that I felt. So by 8:30, I guess, I was back there and they were, checking and doing all that. And he was born at 11:57 in the morning. The longest wait was waiting for the anesthesiologist and the pediatrician to come to the hospital. That was what took a while to get everything done, and then he was born. And what was great about it was my doctor and his doctor, the pediatrician that we used, were both on call that day. So it worked out perfect because this was my 5th C-section, and of course I just didn't want anybody else doing my C-section other than my doctor because I know her and I trust her, and 5th C-sections are a lot harder to do than regular ones. So I'm just so glad that my doctor was there that day. And I'm so glad that his doctor was there that day that I know and trust as well, because this little man got sent to the NICU for 10 whole days. There he is. Excuse all the mess in the background. I'm newborning with a toddler all day while the other kids are at school, and I just had a C-section. So, of course, our house looks like a wreck. But anyway, 10 days this little man spent in the NICU. If you follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and I also posted it on YouTube. I'll throw some pictures up here for you guys to go ahead and check out. It was the hardest thing that I've ever done. I've never had a kid early. Ashlyn and Hayden were both 9 days early, and that was as early as it got. Haley was 6 days late, and Ashlyn was exactly 1 week early. They took her at 39 weeks. He was scheduled for Christmas Eve, which would have been 39 weeks. And he just wanted to come. He was ready. My body was ready. I knew he was coming early. I had told my doctor months ago that he was coming the beginning of December. I just knew it. I don't know. But I'm glad, like I said, that my doctor was there and that his doctor was there. Because he was born at 36 weeks, his lungs weren't fully developed, and he got sent to the NICU, which is in a completely different hospital, a couple different counties away. It's about an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes, depending on traffic. He got sent to UVA Hospital in Virginia, and they kept him for 10 whole days. So the day he was born, he was sent down there that night. I had only gotten to hold him for about 2 minutes, maybe at the most. Gary spent the most time with him before they took him while I was in recovery. Like I said, I held him for about 2 minutes, and then he was gone, and I didn't see him until the next day. Thankfully, my doctor called down there, and because our hospital here is a subdivision of their hospital, So it's all one system, but it's just in different counties and different areas. They have little subdivisions of UVA Hospital, and ours happens to be one of them. So my doctor put in a call to her colleagues down there and got me transferred as well. He went around 8 or 9 at night, and I went at like 1 in the morning. They had to wait for a ambulance to come pick me up and transfer me, but I wasn't an emergency, so it wasn't like a big deal to get me down there as it was him. And Gary left and went down there immediately with him and was right by his side the whole time. And so, let's see, I had him on Sunday. I usually spend 2 nights in the hospital with a C-section. They kept me an extra night because with a C-section you can stay for 3 nights. I just never have. I've never needed to. But they kept me because he was still down there, so I did want to stay the extra night. But it was really hard being away from the other kids. I had never been away from Everly before, ever. And so with him in the NICU for 10 days, I got out Wednesday, and he stayed until the following Tuesday. So every morning, Gary and I would wake up, drive an hour and a half to see him. I would stay from morning until night as late as possible because I couldn't leave him. And he's nursing right now, sorry. My parents came up from North Carolina and stayed with the older kids here at the house and took care of them, which was we're so unbelievably grateful that that happened. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to go spend any time with Wilder in the hospital. But thankfully, I was able to go every single day. Gary was too for the first week. He had to go back to work the second week. So we spent every day from when we went home Wednesday. We stayed that day before we came home. We stayed all day with him when I got discharged. We came home that night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we went back and spent the entire day there, morning to night. And then we'd come home and I would cry and cry and cry and cry and cry some more. And if I wasn't with him, I was crying. And it was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And I still kind of feel like I have like PTSD from that. I don't ever want to go back to Charlottesville. I don't ever want to go back to the hospital. I don't ever want to see anything that has anything to do with a NICU because I'm just not even over the feelings yet. It was so hard. But then Tuesday when I went down that morning, and as soon as I got there, the doctor came to me and said, I already did my rounds on him, and I already did my assessment, and he is ready to go. So all I had to do was wait for the nurse to go over all the discharge stuff, and I got to take him home, which was amazing. And he finally got to meet his siblings because it took that whole time, because obviously they didn't go back and forth with us because they had school. And with us staying there for that many hours, it was just too hard. We did have my parents come on that Saturday, and they brought Everly only, and they stayed for a couple hours, and just until she was ready to go and couldn't stay any longer. But everyone else got to meet him Tuesday when they came home from school, and life has been crazy since then. So that's it. I just wanted to share with you guys. Gary and I had wanted to sit down together and do a video and introduce you to him and do all this stuff, and real life happens, and we haven't had the time. We're tired, and he's back to work. He's been working all this week and all last week. And it's just, this is what we got to give you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions, like I said, just leave them below. And I hope you enjoyed all the pictures, and they're really hard to see. Some of them are really, really hard to see. It was really sad. But thankfully now he's doing fine. He's had 2 pediatrician appointments already, and he looks great. The doctor has zero concern now about him, except he did say one thing. He said he doesn't want him around anybody with germs and anybody that hasn't had a flu shot, because his lungs although they're healthy now and they're up to where they should be finally, if he catches any germs and it gets into his lungs, he could be sent back to the NICU and need some help. So we're hoping that he stays healthy and the kids, don't come home with any germs from school. And we have hand sanitizer everywhere. Everyone's washing their hands like crazy. And we're just trying to keep him healthy. Doctor said he knows all new parents want to show off their baby and go out and let everyone see him, have people over. And he said, please don't do that with him. So we're kind of quarantining ourselves to the house right now and just making sure that he develops and grows. He's still only 38 weeks gestational age right now. He's still supposed to be in my stomach. So I don't want to expose him to anything that he shouldn't be exposed to. This is our first NICU baby. We don't know, we don't have any experience with it. I don't want to mess it up, and I never want to spend another night without him because I can't handle it mentally. It was hard. It was hard. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life, was to leave my child. When a mother has a baby, they are supposed to be with that baby, and they are supposed to take that baby home from the hospital, and I didn't get to, and I've never felt the way I felt without him. And it was so hard to be away from the other kids. It was so hard to divide my time and be at the hospital and not be home with them, not be home with Everly all day. But then if I was home, I felt like I was betraying him because he was all alone in the hospital. So it was like I was just so torn between both places. And it was seriously exhausting. I'm tired. It was the roughest 10 days of my life. And on top of that, I was healing with a C-section, or I was trying to heal from a C-section, and it was just rough. So thank you guys for hanging in there. Thank you for watching. And again, glad we got to introduce him to you guys finally. So here is our perfect little man. He was 6 pounds, 5 ounces, 19 inches long. His name is Wilder Gray. He's so cute and so tiny, and we all just love him to death. Everly loves him up all the time. She holds him probably about 20 times a day and just loves him and rubs on him and kisses him and everything. And thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you have any questions, go ahead and leave some comments below. Sorry it's not a way better professional video, but I just don't have the time lately. But I did want to just do a video so you guys could meet him. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and enjoy these other videos we have coming up for you. Also, you can turn on the red bell notifications so you're notified of every new video we post. Thank you so much.